Turkey has gone through some big economic changes, with inflation pushing up prices in many areas. This year, the consumer price index reached 75% by May 2024, so costs for everything are higher than they used to be. In October, we took a 2-week trip to see Turkey firsthand. We traveled nearly 3,000 kilometers by car, exploring major destinations like Istanbul, Cappadocia, Antalya, and even parts of Izmir. So in this video, I'll walk you through a detailed breakdown of what you can expect to pay across different categories, from food to accommodations, tourist sites, and more. Keep in mind that all the prices I mentioned reflect mid-range options, so this gives you a realistic idea of what a comfortable yet affordable trip here might cost. Let's dive and see what has changed and what you should budget for when visiting Turkey in 2024 and 2025. Before we discuss prices, a few quick things to know outside of costs. When it comes to Turkey's currency, the Turkish lira, the exchange rates fluctuate quite a bit, but in 2024 November, they are approximately $1 to 34.4 Turkish lira, €1 to 36.7 lira, and £1 to 44.3 Turkish lira. And when it comes to payment methods, bank cards are widely accepted in big cities and at main tourist attractions. Most restaurants, shops, and hotels in these areas are card-friendly. But for example, as we traveled south from Cappadocia, we found that some smaller restaurants and tourist sites only accepted cash. So in the end, carrying a mix of cash and cards is a good idea, especially if you're planning to explore beyond the major cities and tourist points. ATMs are very common in cities, so getting cash will be easy. However, be aware of fees. Every time we withdrew cash, we noticed charges ranging from 8 to 10% of the amount taken out. Additionally, you may incur small fees from your bank each time you make card payments, so it is a good idea to check with your bank about any extra charges. Alright, let's look at a few general cost categories that apply across the country. We rented a mid-sized Dacia Sandero with automatic transmission for a base rate of €26 per day, plus €5 for a medium insurance package. Since we dropped the car off at a different airport, we also had to pay a one-way fee of €100. Overall, rental costs seem pretty consistent across the country, so you can expect similar rates for mid-sized cars. Turkey's toll system is managed through an automatic passage system called HGS. Most rental cars come with an HGS sticker, which allows you to pass through toll gates very easily. Toll fees are based on a couple of things, such as distance traveled and vehicle class, and rates will vary depending on the road, bridge, or tunnel. Our car rental included a prepaid €30 for tolls, and we paid an additional €20 at the end of the trip, making it a total of €50 for about 1,500 kilometers on Turkey's well-maintained motorways between regions. When it comes to fuel, expect an average price of around 43 to 45 Turkish lira per liter for benzene and diesel, which is about €1.2. In our experience, grocery prices were pretty consistent across major supermarket chains like A101 and BİM, so you can expect similar rates wherever you shop. Looking at staple items, a loaf of sliced bread costs about €1. 1 liter of milk is around 80 euro cents. 1 liter of bottled water costs 30 euro cents. Butter is about 50 euro cents, and a dozen eggs will set you back around 2 euro. For rice, you'll pay roughly 1.2 euro per kilo for Yasmin rice. 5 liters of sunflower oil costs about 5.5 euro. All this sums to 11.3 euros. When it comes to fruit and vegetables, a medium jar of green olives is €1. 1 kilo of potatoes goes for 70 euro cents. Cucumbers are around 80 euro cents per kilo. Onions are priced at 40 euro cents per kilo. Tomatoes are about 70 euro cents per kilo. Apples come in at around 70 euro cents. Watermelon is just 25 euro cents per kilo, so assuming a 10 kilogram watermelon, a jar of green olives, and 1 kilo of each of the mentioned fruits and vegetables, your sum will be €6.20. For meat, beef steak is about 7 euros per 350 grams, and chicken breasts will cost you around €5.50 per kilo. That sums to €12.50. For personal care essentials, a 100 ml tube of toothpaste is €1, Pantene shampoo, 350 ml costs about €3, that sums to €4. Some of the popular snacks, like a 100-gram pack of Lay's chips is around €1, pastries like a croissant or burek are about 60 euro cents, a chocolate bar costs around 20 euro cents, and for something a bit more premium, 150 grams of pistachios is about €2.40. All these snacks sum to €4.20. Lastly, for drinks, a 1-liter bottle of local soda is about 50 euro cents, a 1.5-liter bottle of Pepsi will run you around €1, a 1-liter pack of juice costs €1.10, a 200 ml pack of ayran, a popular local yogurt drink, is 15 euro cents, and lastly, a 100 grams pack of Turkish coffee costs around €1.40. All that sums to €4.15. So in the end, a supermarket trip with all of my mentioned items together will cost you a total of €42.35. Sweets are a popular gift choice for friends and family back home. In Istanbul, we visited a well-known delicacy chain and picked up a 350-gram box of local sweets for €9.50. If you're on for small memorabilia, keychains and magnets are typically a very common souvenir choice. The prices for these start at around 80 euro cents, with some larger or more elaborate ones going up to €2. During our road trip, we often stopped for a caffeine break, and Starbucks became one of our go-to spots. The prices here were quite reasonable compared to what we might expect in other countries. For instance, a big iced latte was €3.20, while a pumpkin spice frappuccino costs €4. We added a box of chocolate brownies for €2.70, which brought us to a total of just under €10. The museum pass is a great option for tourists visiting Turkey, offering access to multiple museums and attractions for a set price. There are different types of passes available, depending on the region you're interested to visit. To name a few, the Istanbul Museum Pass costs around €105 and covers various entrances in Istanbul. The Cappadocia Museum Pass is priced at €65, covering most of the popular tourist sites in that region. The Turkey-wide Museum Pass gives access to majority of popular tourist attractions across the entire country and costs €165. Locals can purchase the museum card, which offers access to most of the same locations countrywide, but at a significantly lower price, just under €2. If you're planning to visit the country, I encourage you to double-check the current prices and which entrances are included in each pass, as not all of the locations are included and some details might change over time. We'll leave a link in the description for you to check whenever relevant. As we discuss each region, we will also mention individual entry fees for the most popular tourist sites. Since locals have minimal costs, we'll focus on the tourist perspective instead. We're heading to our first location, Istanbul, where we'll break down the costs for various categories over here. When it comes to accommodation, Istanbul offers a variety of options depending on the area you stay in. For Airbnbs, you can expect to pay around 40 to 60 euro per night for an entire apartment in central areas like Sultanahmet and Taksim. Standard hotels in these locations, including breakfast, typically range from 70 to 100 euros per night. During our stay in Sultanahmet, we chose a hotel that cost 74 euros per night and included breakfast. As you move away from the city center, prices tend to drop. It is not uncommon to find accommodations that are 20 to 30% cheaper in outer districts compared to the central areas. Keep in mind that prices can vary depending on the season, with higher rates during peak travel months. Istanbul offers a wide variety of food options. Starting with SAW Airport, we stopped at McDonald's, where a Big Mac costs €6.15, McChicken was €5.30, while medium fries was €3. When in city, street food is a budget-friendly option for travelers. Popular items like simit, döner kebabs, and chicken durum rolls are affordable and easy to find. For example, a chicken durum roll from one of the street vendors near our hotel cost me just about €1. In tourist-heavy areas like Sultan Ahmet, closer to main attractions, expect to pay much more for meals at restaurants. For example, in one of our visited restaurants, chicken shish was 15 euros, chicken in curry or soy sauce, and Vienna chicken schnitzel all were for 20 euros and 70 cents, vegetable casserole 18 euros, vegetable barbecue 19 euros and 10 cents, grilled sea bass and grilled sea bream also for 19 euros and 10 cents, salmon steak was 23 euros and 20 cents, baklava dessert, künefe and home ice cream were all for 9 euros and 80 cents, small Coca-Cola 3 euros and 70 cents, and fresh orange juice 5 euros 85 cents. If we consider just meals, we can conclude that average price per meal in a touristy area is 19 euros and 50 cents. As you move away from the main tourist spots, prices drop. In less touristy areas, you can find meals like chicken shish for 11 euros and 60 cents, mixed pizza 12 euros and 80 cents, a cheeseburger 9 euros and 80 cents, Urfa kebab 13 euros and 20 cents, chicken burger 6 euros and 30 cents, Istanbul koftas 9 euros. So in the end, average price per meal in non-touristy area is 10 euros and 45 cents. No trip to Istanbul is complete without experiencing Turkish tea or coffee. Both are widely available, and most of the restaurants will offer it free of charge after your meal. Otherwise, you can find tea at small cafes or street vendors for around 1 euro, depending on the place. Getting around Istanbul is typically easy and affordable, with plenty of public transport options and a few taxi or rideshare choices for more convenience. Istanbul's metro, trams, buses, and ferries are cheap, convenient, and efficient way to travel around the city. A great way to save money on fares is by using the Istanbul card, a reloadable card that works across all forms of public transport. You can purchase the card at major transit stops, like metro stations or airports. The Istanbul card itself costs around 3 euros 50 cents, and each full fare is around 55 euro cents. Another option is a disposable prepaid card with a limited number of uses. For example, we got a 3-pass card, which cost us just over 2 euros and 30 cents, with most of rides or transfers counting as 1 pass. Taxis are fairly cheap within the city. The fare typically starts at around 70 euro cents, and you will pay around 50 euro cents per kilometer after that. However, when premium areas are involved, the costs might be just a little higher, for example due to bridge crossing tolls. Our taxi ride from SAW airport cost us about 35 euros. Ride-sharing services like Uber are also available with similar pricing. When it comes to historic center, in my opinion, one of the best ways to explore it is on foot. Many of the city's most famous landmarks, like the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and the Grand Bazaar, are within walking distance of each other. Walking is free and a great way to enjoy the city at your own pace. When visiting Istanbul, many of the city's most famous tourist sites come with entry fees. For example, if you want to access the balcony and some of the historical sections of Hagia Sophia, you will pay around 25 euros. If you want to visit the nearby museum as well, that's another 25 euros. The Basilica Cistern costs about 24 euros per person. Galata Tower has an entry fee of 30 euros, and the Maidens Tower is priced at 27 euros. Topkapi Palace starts at around 45 euros, while Dolmabahce Palace is just under 30 euros. So to summarize, for Istanbul tourist sites, the average entry cost per paid popular location is 29 euros and 50 cents. Additionally, there are numerous free attractions that you shouldn't miss. Besides Hagia Sophia, usually mosques such as the Blue Mosque are free to enter. And you can also walk around the historic Grand Bazaar and Egyptian Bazaar without any charges. For those interested in a more in-depth experience, guided tours are available. Prices can vary, but expect to pay a guide fee from around 20 euros for a 1-hour guided tour for places like the Blue Mosque. So in summary, if we consider accommodation, food, and tourist sites, a day in Istanbul for 2 people will cost 123 euros and 60 cents, plus average of 29.5 euros per person for each paid major tourist attraction that you're going to visit during the peak season. Our next location is the magical Cappadocia region. Here we will focus on the most popular towns like Göreme and Uçhisar. When it comes to accommodation in Cappadocia, mid-range options include a range of unique cave hotels, especially in popular towns like my mentioned Göreme and Uçhisar. These hotels often feature traditional cave-style rooms with standard amenities and breakfast included. For a general sense of pricing, in Göreme and Uçhisar, mid-range hotels typically average around 110 euros per night. In Göreme and Ortahisar, a place that has more Airbnb options, mid-range Airbnbs typically average around 100 euros per night. We stayed in a slightly higher-end cave hotel in Uçhisar at 135 euros per night, which gave us the experience of sleeping in a carved cave room right in the heart of Cappadocia's landscape. In Cappadocia, local dishes are a highlight, with specialties like pottery kebab being a must-try. Here are the restaurant prices we experienced in Uçhisar. Chicken with curry sauce, 16 euros 10 cents, cheeseburger, 11 euros 75 cents, chicken shish, 11 euros 50 cents, Cappadocia special beef pottery kebab, 18 euros 60 cents, beans in casserole, 9 euros 85 cents, and chicken sheet pan, 13 euros and 10 cents. That results in an average price per meal of 13 euros and 50 cents. Cappadocia offers a few key transportation options to help travelers get around its unique landscape. For those arriving by air, taxis are a common way to reach towns like Göreme. From Nevşehir Cappadocia Airport to Göreme, the taxi fare is about 18 euros during the day, with a small increase at night. Standard taxi rates in the region are reasonable, with a base rate of 50 euro cents and around 40 euro cents per kilometer traveled. Shuttle services and minivans are also available between towns. You can book a shuttle service online for about 15 euros that can drop you directly to your hotel. For exploring off-road areas, ATV tours are a popular choice, allowing visitors to navigate Cappadocia's valleys and open landscapes. Tours typically last 1 to 2 hours, with prices starting from around 10 euros. Just keep in mind that ATVs are for off-road trails only and are not allowed on main roads. Cappadocia offers a range of unique attractions and experiences, from ancient sites to stunning natural landscapes. Here are the entry fees to some of the main historical and cultural sites. Göreme Open Air Museum is 20 euros, Ihlara Valley and Selime Monastery is 15 euros, and you can access both of the places with the same ticket. Uçhisar Castle, 6 euros and 70 cents, Kaymakli and Derinkuyu underground cities, 13 euros for each underground city, Paşabaki and Zelve Open Air Museum, 12 euros. Average cost per paid entry is 13 euros and 35 cents. One of the most iconic experiences in Cappadocia is a hot air balloon ride. Prices range from 150 to 400 euros per person, depending on the package and availability. Our hotel gave us a last-minute offer of 250 euros per person, which we found a little too expensive. Generally, booking in advance may help you find more competitive rates, although budget options might mean sharing a larger basket, while premium packages often include extras like shuttle services and smaller group sizes for a more comfortable experience. Even if you choose not to fly, be sure to experience the magic of balloon watching from popular viewpoints like Love or Rose Valley. Seeing the balloons rise over the landscape is such a memorable sight in itself. For budget-friendly activities, Cappadocia offers many free hiking trails and observation points. Spectacular trails can be found in Love and Rose Valleys, Imagination Valley and the Sunset Point are also great places to stop by at. So to summarize Cappadocia's costs, if we consider accommodation, food and tourist sites, a day in this region for 2 people will cost on average 164 euros, plus the average of 13.35 euros per person for each paid major tourist attraction that you're going to visit. Our final location is the sunny Antalya. Antalya offers a range of accommodations, from mid-range hotels to all-inclusive resorts. For mid-range options, Airbnbs in central areas average around 90 euros per night, while properties in the outskirts go for about 50 euros per night. Hotels in both central and coastal areas typically average around 90 euros per night, often with breakfast included. For a more luxurious stay, all-inclusive resorts are very popular here. For example, our ultra all-inclusive 5-star resort, 30 minutes away from Antalya, cost approximately 180 euros per night for a 2-person room that included a wide range of amenities. However, there are plenty of cheaper options in this region, catering to a variety of different needs. In Antalya, you will find a variety of food options, from authentic Turkish specialties to affordable street food. In the old town, prices for popular dishes vary. Mixed pizza or chicken shish typically costs around 8.20 euros, while a grilled steak is around 19.10 euros. Other meals like grilled meatballs or vegetable casseroles range from 12.30 euros to 14 euros. Many cafes and beachfront restaurants along the coast offer great views, with meals priced similarly to those in the old town. So in summary, the average cost per meal in these locations is 12.35 euros. Buses, trams and shared taxis are a budget-friendly way to get around, with fares ranging from 15 euro cents to 30 euro cents depending on the type of transport and route. Taxis are convenient for shorter trips or reaching less accessible locations, with a base fare of around 70 euro cents plus 80 euro cents per kilometer. Many people opt in for day tours to popular sites like Pamukkale. These start from 30 euros, generally including transportation, a guide and lunch, however not covering entry fees. This can be a practical option for those looking to explore further without renting a car. Antalya offers a mix of both paid and free attractions. Antalya's old town is filled with beautiful, free-to-see monuments like Hadrian's Gate. The scenic Duden Park and Duden waterfalls also provide tranquil setting at no cost, making them great spots to visit. There are numerous other unique must-visit sites in this part of the country, but be aware that they require additional travel time from Antalya. Some of the highlights include Pamukkale, located 3 hours drive from Antalya, priced at 30 euros. Alanya Castle, located 2 hours drive from Antalya, that costs 12 euros. Ephesus, located 5 hours drive from Antalya, is starting at 40 euros. And if you happen to stay near Bodrum, which is located close to 6 hours drive from Antalya, the Bodrum Archaeology Museum is priced at 20 euros. So these locations result in average of 25.5 euro per entry point. If we consider accommodation, food and tourist sites, a day in Antalya for 2 will cost on average 139 euros and 40 cents, plus average of 25.5 euros for each paid major tourist attraction that you're going to visit. So to wrap up the video, let's bring back all the daily budget averages in each of these popular regions. In Istanbul, expect an average of 123.6 euro per day for 2 people to cover accommodation and meals, with an additional 29.5 euro per person for entry fees at major paid sites. In Cappadocia, a stay for 2 including a cave hotel and meals comes to an average of 164 euro per day, with lower entry fees averaging 13 euros and 35 cents per person per paid popular site. Finally, in Antalya, you're looking at 139 euros and 40 cents per day for accommodation and food for 2 people, plus around 25.5 euro per person for each major tourist site with an entrance fee. Overall, it appears that experiencing Cappadocia's unique cave, accommodations and food tends to cost a bit more per day, but its attractions generally come at a lower and more reasonable price point than in Istanbul or Antalya. And that is all for our deep dive into Turkey's costs for 2024 and 2025. I hope this guide helps you plan your trip with confidence and gives you a clear idea of what to expect when you reach. We wish you safe and unforgettable travels.